What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. I haven't played any of the DLCs yet, and I want to get my impressions of the grind of level 1 through 50, what everyone commonly calls it, like the grind fest or the worst part of the game. I just wanted to get my impression of what I think about it. I think it was obviously a grind fest, but it wasn't actually as bad as I was thinking it would be. The grind was not necessarily a grind of like killing 1,000 mobs to get this amount of XP per mob, so you're gonna get blah blah. The grind is more so you do this quest called the main scenario, which is the main quest in the game, and basically you talk to someone and then you just continue that chain of running over to talk to a new person, and you do that a lot. Every once in a while it'll bring you to a dungeon, so you do a dungeon, or bring you to an instance where you get to do this cool little fight. But there aren't nearly as many of those as there are just quests where you're just walking around to new places and talking to someone, and then you get a lot of dialogue and that's it. And if you're not enjoying the story of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, you are going to really dislike the game at this point, because that's the majority of the game. Now, at first my intentions were get to level 80 as soon as possible so I can play with my friends, but as I've been playing through the game, I've been getting more and more invested into the story and slowing down just a little bit just to go through the game in a fun way. And I am really glad I did that, because I'm starting to enjoy the game a lot more than I did previously. The first few levels I wasn't really involved in the story. I was just trying to go next for everything, and I slowed down around level 20 and started getting invested in the story, and it was a good choice. Now, not all of the story arcs are going to be very good, but most of the story arcs I do find pretty entertaining, and the overall story is really good. The ending is a good payoff. It has a lot of good cinematics that I highly suggest that you guys watch and pay attention to. And had some really cool boss fights, although it's a really long quest for the final quest. It's actually pretty fun if you were invested into the story and you want to get some battling done and stuff. It's pretty fun. Now, some of the issues arise in the game for the lack of combat in the beginning. In my opinion, you're not really fighting too many mobs in the beginning, so you don't get attuned to your class very well. I picked Thaumaturgist, so I was going to be playing Black Mage, and like you don't really kill anything until you get to the first dungeon. Then when you hit the first dungeon, you're like, okay, now I get to learn my class. But before that, you don't really get to fight too much. There's like 2 instances before that you get to kill a few things, and then like a few quests where you have to kill like one guy. I feel like there should be more quests where you're fighting things, just so you can like learn your quest and learn your job in the beginning. And I think that would be the most fun. Now you also have your job quest, which is also a lot of fetch quests where you're just running around talking to people, but you do get to fight things with your job quest as well, which is really good. And the job quest is also important to do because you get abilities from that. But your main scenario is the most important, because that's basically how you unlock everything in the game, so you have to get that done. Now, the good thing about this game is that one character can be any class, so you can hot swap classes if you want. You can be any job basically, and you can also get any gathering skill, any crafting skill. You can learn all of them, any of them you want, so you do not ever need to replay the story. So that's also a big positive, because like in things like World of Warcraft, you make an alt, so you have to replay through the story or grind a different method, and most people don't enjoy that. I kind of like playing through the story sometimes an extra time, but since this game you can play any class and have any number of jobs and all that stuff, it's really awesome that you just have to do it once and then you're good. So that's a really big positive for the game. Also, this game has a pretty good combat system. It's pretty MMO like, so it's not much to get used to if you've played other MMOs. The main standout for the combat is actually the monsters you fight against. They have really cool designs. Some of them have cool mechanics that come with them, so some of the big bosses actually have really fun mechanics and unique mechanics that aren't in any other MMOs I've seen. and interactions between them. But overall, the design and the monsters are like what stand out to me in the combat system. Another thing to talk about in the game is that the community is really welcoming. There's so many people just hanging out, and just like every time you join a duty finder, so it's like a dungeon finder basically, like everyone's like chatting the whole time. They'll let you, if you're watching a cutscene, 99% of everyone will not continue the dungeon until everyone's done watching the cutscene, because there are a lot of new players. If you have a sprout over your head like me, and you do a dungeon that involves a little bit of mechanics, like to know the fight a little bit, they'll usually type up a little thing and just like, don't worry about it, just make sure you look out for this. And if you mess up, they're not really angry. If you wipe, no one gets mad or leaves. Everyone's just like, my bad, let's try again. And it's a really great experience for new players. I really love the community for that, so I'm getting a little more invested in the game just because of that on top of it. Another thing I want to talk about is that there's a ton of side content to do in this game. There is for example, Golden Saucers, this giant casino. You can spend hours in there just like doing different gambling things. The thing I'm most interested in is actually the card game. I forgot the name of it, but I'm pretty much obsessed with it. It's a 3x3 grid where you just play cards, and there's a lot of NPCs that have special cards in the game, so if you beat them, you have a chance to get their card, and you can use that in your deck. It's a deck builder. You get to pick 5 cards, and it's super fun. I love deck builder kind of games, so that experience is just like a little like cherry on top for me. It's just like you love everything in the game. Now there's this awesome card game that you can't stop playing. What else is there? So I played as a black mage. I don't know, I think I explained that before. Black mage rotation gameplay is like so far mad, but I know there's a lot more spells and abilities that's going to make my rotation a lot more interesting, so I'm waiting for that to happen. I haven't really played any other classes. I did try out samurai for like a little bit. They seem really fun. That's my only understanding of it. And I was leveling a botanist. It's a gathering job, so you just basically whack trees, and there's little like quests that you can do for those to level them up, or you can just walk around and destroy things. It's really awesome because you can change your class. You can set a hotkey to change your class for you that like puts on all the gear you have. And if you ever want to change your class, all you have to do is equip their weapon and you're all good. You just changed your class based on changing your weapon. And that's a really fun mechanic too. There's just a lot of cool things about the game that I'm really enjoying currently. And if you have a bunch of people pestering you to try out the game and you enjoy MMOs or RPGs, dude, you should totally play this game. It's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not playing it earlier. I know it's a big hype game, and I'm kind of falling into the category of the hype train of Final Fantasy right now. So that's why I'm kind of making this video too. So for anyone else that's getting caught up in the hype train, I just wanted to show you my impressions of the game. I'm really loving it. It's not really a review episode, but I would so far give it like a solid, for a Realm Reborn, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Because like the story, the main scenario itself, not that hot. Like the story's pretty good, but if that's the only part of the game I'm judging, it's not like, it's probably like a 6 or a 7. But if you judge everything else in the game, like the fact, like the way Duty Finder is, all the dailies you can do, all the classes you can play, all that kind of stuff, the community, the environment, the monster design, all of that stuff together, this game is really good so far, and I can't wait to play a ton more hours into it, sink my teeth into it, and play the other DLCs and enjoy all their stories and what they have to offer. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of content. I don't make this kind of content ever. I don't know if I'm doing it right. So if you want to see more of the content like this, make sure you leave a like down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later.